Stephanie White just spoke to the media moments ago, and this is red hot news. She's stating that she's anticipating a return of Clark.
The ball went to the middle of the floor, and Clark struggling right there. And you hate to see that.
Yep, hopefully that is.
12 games. That's how long it's been since Clark last suited up for the Indiana Fever.
No update. Just felt a little something in her groin, so we'll get it evaluated and see what happens from there.
The 23-year-old star point guard has been stuck on the sidelines ever since she pulled up with a right groin injury on July 15th against the Connecticut Sun.
When the injury happened, it was pretty frustrating considering I knew what the coming days were going to hold for myself. But I feel like dealing with that and then also just trying to look at it in the most positive manner that I can. And
1 month later, Fever fans are still waiting, still asking the same question. When is she coming back? And right now, nobody really knows.
As a devoted NBA fan for nearly 2 decades, I can honestly say I've never seen anyone quite like her. The NBA was already a dominant force when I became a super fan.
If you are a true Clark fan, do subscribe to the channel right now. When head coach Stephanie White was pressed this weekend about Clark's status, her response said it all.
No, she saw another one this morning. I have not spoken with the trainers yet in between time from shoot around in a game, so no update from what we said yesterday.
She didn't promise. She didn't commit. She said, that's the hope. The hope is that she's back.
Stephanie White asked if she anticipated Clark return before the end of the regular season. She said that's the hope. The hope is that she's come back.
You can almost hear the weight in her voice. Hopeful but cautious. And honestly, who can blame her?
She's stating that she's anticipating a return of Clark.
This isn't just a minor setback. This is already Clark's third lower body injury of the season. For Indiana, the nightmare scenario would be rushing her back only to watch her go down again. That's why the Fever has been so guarded, refusing to give fans a firm timeline. Instead, they've stressed one thing over and over. She needs to be 100% healthy.
Experience throughout the year, trying to come back and come back quickly, has also taught her, that she needs to make sure that she's 100%.
No shortcuts, no risks. Because this isn't just about today. It's about the future of the franchise. Clark isn't just another player. She's the heartbeat of this team. The reason Indiana has started to believe again. And if they want to have any shot at holding onto a playoff spot down the stretch, they know her return could change everything. It's easy to understand why the Fever are being so cautious. Clark isn't just another player. She's the face of this franchise. Last year, she was Rookie of the Year, made first-team All-WNBA, and came into 2025 as one of the most talked-about MVP candidates. When she's on the floor, the entire game shifts.
And it's not just the players. This is the greatest women's coach of all time, Gino Auriemma, talking about Clark.
In just 13 appearances this season, she's been putting up 16.5 points, 8.8 assists, 5 rebounds, and nearly 2 steals per game. Those assists aren't just leading the team. They rank near the very top of the league. Combine that with her deep shooting range and relentless competitiveness, and you can see why so many believed she could push Indiana into real contention. But injuries have told a different story. Clark has already missed 19 of Indiana's first 32 games, and after a couple more absences, that number has climbed to 21. Every one of those missed games has been felt. Without her, the Fever's offense just doesn't flow the same way, and the energy she brings on the court is irreplaceable. Now, with the regular season winding down, the situation feels urgent. Indiana is barely holding on to a playoff spot, and the margin for error is razor thin. A healthy Clark could be the ultimate X factor, the difference between an early vacation and a second straight postseason. That's why Coach White and everyone around the team keep stressing hope that she makes it back in time. Because it isn't just about numbers on a stat sheet. Clark's return would mean a spark, a surge of confidence, and a sense of belief for a roster that's been battered by injuries all year long. The impact of Clark's absence has been obvious, and it's only gotten worse with the Fever's brutal luck at the point guard spot. At first, Indiana managed to hold their own without their star. Right after Clark went down, they pieced together an impressive 5-game winning streak from July 24th through August 3rd. For a moment, it looked like they might survive the storm. But then came August 7th against the Phoenix Mercury, and disaster struck again. Both Ari McDonald and Sydney Colson, Clark's backup and her backup's backup, suffered season-ending injuries in the same game. Just like that, Indiana was left with 3 point guards gone and almost no depth at the most critical position on the floor. Talk about brutal timing. As one Fever reporter joked, losing your star is tough, but losing 3 layers of your depth chart, that's catastrophic. The team scrambled and signed veteran Odyssey Sims on a hardship contract, hoping her experience could stabilize the backcourt. But even with Sims, the cracks started to show. The Fever followed up that 5-game streak with 4 losses in their next 5 outings. And the sting was worse because some of those defeats came against the Dallas Wings and Washington Mystics, teams below Indiana in the standings, games they had to win. Instead of locking down their playoff position, the Fever have started to slide, and the timing couldn't be worse. The playoff race has gotten uncomfortably tight for Indiana. The Fever have slipped to 7th place, holding just a 1-game lead over the Seattle Storm in 8th and only a game and a half ahead of the surging Los Angeles Sparks in 9th. In short, their margin for error is razor thin. Outside of the dominant Minnesota Lynx, who have already locked up the top seed, the rest of the league is in chaos. Only 6 games separate the second-place team from the 10th, and with just 8 postseason spots available, every single game down the stretch carries massive weight. This is where CaitlincLark's absence feels even heavier. Indiana is trending in the wrong direction, and time is running out. If Clark can get her body right and make it back, even for the last couple of regular season games, it could be the jolt this team desperately needs. The numbers prove it. With Clark on the floor, the Fever are 8-5. Without her, just 10-11. That swing alone could be the difference between making the playoffs and watching from home. Coach Stephanie White has been clear, nothing matters more than Clark's long-term health, and she's right. Rushing back too soon could jeopardize more than just this season. But at the same time, the team isn't hiding the fact that they're still hoping for a late-season comeback. As White herself put it, the most important thing is that she's 100% and ready. And yet, every competitor knows the truth. When the stakes are this high and the season's on the line, no one wants to sit on the sidelines. For now, all the Fever can do is tread water and hope their star gets healthy in time. They know exactly what CaitlincLark brings. Just last year, she carried them to their first playoff appearance since 2016, and her presence alone raised the level of everyone around her. That's why the franchise invested in her as their cornerstone. These moments, fighting for a postseason spot in the middle of adversity, are the very reason she was brought in. And if Clark is physically able, you can bet she'll do everything in her power to step back on that floor and lead again. If not, then Indiana's young core will have to take on the hard lessons of perseverance, finding out what it means to compete without their leader. One thing is crystal clear. The Fever's entire season hangs in the balance. A healthy CaitlincLark could be the difference between back-to-back playoff trips or an early offseason exit. As the regular season winds down, every update on her groin injury becomes the focus of the league. Fans, teammates, and coaches are all watching, waiting, and hoping, just like Stephanie White said, that she'll be back.